Women don't marry us to have bad sex. They don't marry us to go to work 8, 10, 12 hours a day, even if they are a lawyer or a professional. That's not what women marry us for. Women don't marry us to wash dishes, change diapers, take out the trash, clean the house. That's their duty and they do that, but that's not what they marry us for. Welcome to the Save My Catholic Marriage podcast, the podcast that helps you fight for your marriage when separation, divorce, annulment, or a sexless marriage are on the table. I'm Jerry Jacobs Jr., author of From I Do to I'm Done, The Wife's Exit Strategy. And for over 11 years, through more than 1,000 one-on-one sessions and over 500 group sessions, I've helped Catholic men reclaim leadership, stop chasing, and rebuild marriages that looked impossible to save. Men don't come to me when things are fine. They come when she says, I'm done. I want out. You're not the man I married. They come when the marital embrace is gone, when trust is broken, when desire is dead, and when her bags are already packed. I'm not a therapist. I'm a war coach. I'm the man you come to when you think you've tried everything else and sadly find everything else doesn't work. I help you ignite the Holy Spirit and take the fight to the enemy. No tips, no tricks, no soft advice. I train men to become the husband their wife has been begging for in silence, and the man Christ has been calling them to be. If this sounds like you, then brother, welcome to the battle. The battle for her heart, for her mind, for her body, for her soul. This is the Save My Catholic Marriage podcast, the Catholic war room for men. Pray hard, lead bold, love fierce. Bam. All right, so let's get started with the question of the day segment. So here's what we got. So the question is, when does a marriage actually start breaking down? Well, I hate to say it, but it usually starts breaking down when the man starts taking his wife and marriage for granted. So what do I mean? A lot of times before we get married, what men will do is they're all into the woman. She's on a pedestal. He gives her all his attention, even gets permission. Can I go to the bathroom type of thing, right? So basically what's going on is when we get married, what happens is kids, work, job, career, all that stuff starts to come in. And then my wife and I, we become partners. And when you can become partners, your wife starts to feel like a buddy, like a partner. We can't talk about partners because partner is not being married. A partner is like a business partner. Either she's your beloved or she's not. So when the man starts taking his wife for granted, what happens is she's going to be there. I'll take care of that later kind of thing. So next, it also, when does a marriage actually start breaking down too, is when he stops giving her the unsaid promise he made when they got married that I will give you the moon, the stars, and the world. Okay. Remember that promise you made? She married you. Women, they marry us because why? We have ambition. We have confidence. We make them feel special. We make them feel like they're the most important person in the world to us. They can talk to us. They can open up. They don't have to hold back. And so when we want to marry, we get close, we want to marry them. The unsaid promise is this. Will you marry me? I'm going to give you everything I can and as the man I am. Okay. I'm going to give you the world. I'm going to give you everything you ever wanted. you're going to be the most important person in my life. But then we get married. And then after a year or so, hell, I even had less than that. 6 months, right? I've talked to guys, they've been married 6 months and are already having problems. But basically what it boils down to is the unsaid promise is, I promised you these things. We getting married, and after a year, where's the promise at? Women must be made to feel special. Another thing, too, that people don't understand is in the eyes of God, men, we're responsible for the marriage. We're responsible for creating an environment that our wife and children can that they can grow spiritually, financially. I'm sorry, not financially, spiritually, psychologically, and emotionally. Okay, it's our job as a man to create that kind of environment. In the Garden of Eden, God made us responsible, not our wife. Her responsibility is the children. And so a lot of guys, when I talk like this, they don't like it. Why? Because then they have to man up. If God gives you the responsibility, then that means you have to man up. It's your duty. It's your job. And your wife, she's not responsible for those things. Remember, the man's job is broad, everything. The woman's job is the children. Both jobs are of equal importance. It is just that the woman's job is more focused than the man. Okay. And so when you hear me talk about, man taking the marriage for granted, or the man, the unsaid promise, like I'm blaming the man, I'm really not blaming him. What I'm doing is giving him the mission that God has given him. And what I learned is the sooner that I accepted that, the better off my life was, the better off my marriage was, the better off my family was. Today, men are taught to be selfish, focus on themselves. Even when we married, you deserve to be happy. You deserve this. We don't deserve nothing. We deserve to do our duty as a man, as a warrior, protect our home, defend it, and serve it. Okay. Next question of the day. When does a marriage actually start breaking down? The next is when the husband stops dating and courting her and making her feel like she's the most important person on the planet. Women don't marry us to have bad sex. They don't marry us to go to work 8, 10, 12 hours a day, even if they are a lawyer or professional. That's not what women marry us for. Women don't marry us to wash dishes, change diapers, take out the trash, clean the house. That's their duty and they do that, but that's not what they marry us for. They marry us because they love us. We're their beloved, right? We made them feel that they are important. And so what happens is when we get married, we stop dating her, we stop courting her, we stop putting her up there. Now, a lot of women say, well, I don't want him to doing that. That's a lie. Anyone that tells you that, they're lying. Of course they want their husband to put them on a pedestal. Why? Because if we don't, in 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 years, first thing she's going to say is, you don't make me feel special no more. That's why a lot of time guys today, what do? We don't open the door for our women, right? We don't go around to the passenger side and open the door for them when they're in the car or when we go into a store. I've seen guys before, man, they go in the store with their wife. They trying to get in the store, leave their wife back there. But a lot of that is feminism, and that's the women's fault. Women, you can't have it all. You can't have everything. You got to learn that either I'm going to be a lady and accept what ladies are supposed to accept and be put on the pedestal and made to feel special, or I'm going to try to be like a man. I mean, dudes are cool. We will treat you like a man if that's what you want, right? You can't get mad at that, okay? Hey, if your marriage is quietly falling apart, this is not a coincidence. Separation, divorce, annulment are not the cause. They are the consequences. Because behind every marriage crisis, there's a pattern, a progression most men never see. Until it's too late, or there's several moves behind. Look, when a crisis hits, rookies sit down, deny, procrastinate, do nothing, and lose hope. A strategist? He stands, he plans, he takes action, he holds his ground, and he rests in Christ. So the question is, rookie or strategist? Because most men try to fix this alone and crash and burn. A crisis demands a plan, not advice. Your first move, get the field manual. From I do to I'm done. The Wife's Exit Strategy, a Christian husband's Catholic guide to halting her hidden plan to leave, divorce, or annul you. Go to SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. The next thing is the reason when a marriage actually starts to break down is when oh, this is a good one. When he stops defending his wife, when a man stops defending his wife to his parents, siblings, his family members. Okay? Basically, when he takes her side, other people's side against her. Right there, that one right there, when a husband doesn't take his woman's side against his parents or his siblings or anything like that, you done already lost your wife. The first time you do it, if you catch yourself, you better get on your knees and say that you're so sorry. Because women, they don't marry us to be put second. Okay? They don't marry us to be like, okay, my husband and my wife, you know, my wife, my parents, they're involved in our marriage and they're the most important thing. And whenever my mama called me, baby, so I got to go over and see what she wants. I know, but we're spending time together. Yeah, but you know, my father, you know, he ain't acting right, blah, blah, blah. See, man, that don't work. That doesn't work at all. Okay? We cannot, it even says in Ephesians 5, verses 21 through 33, one of the last verses, like 30, 31, something like that, goes into, St. Paul tells us that we are supposed to take our wife and go off, become one flesh. What that means is the most important person in your life is your wife, okay? Not your brother or your sister or your mother or your father. They got their own life. You got to go out and build your own family. And people who allow their parents to get involved or their siblings to get involved in their marriage, they're going to tell their mother and father and their brothers and sisters all the bad things that their husband's doing or what their wife is doing. You know, that right there is a recipe for marriage disaster. Okay. So the next reason when the marriage starts going bad, question of the day, is when the husband consumes himself with pleasure of cell phones, television, work, hobbies, sports, that kind of stuff. Now, look again. You're probably saying, man, what are you blaming me for? Man, I'm not blaming you. Again, I'm trying to get you to see how a marriage falls apart. And when another thing too, women choose us. We don't choose them. A lot of people don't really get that, but they really do. When a man makes an offer to a woman, that's why we have to ask the woman to marry us because she's the gift. So if you ask a woman to marry you, she can turn you down. She ain't got to take it. Just because you choose her and say, hey, will you marry me? She has to say yes. So in the end, the woman is the one that chooses us. She gives herself to us. She is the prize. And we forget that over time in our marriage. Remember, man, when we make love to our wife, she's giving her complete and total self to us every single time. That's how important intimacy is to women. But men, we don't remember that. So my job is to try to get you as a marriage strategist and a coach is try to get you as a man to understand, man, that this is not checkers that you playing. This is chess. And we can find ourselves far behind real quick in the game. Women, they won't tell if a woman doesn't trust you or things starts going bad in the marriage, she's not going to tell you what's actually going on in her mind. That's why as a man, we gotta wake up, look at our wife, analyze our wives, get into her head, analyze what's going on, and so we the first ones to know what's happening. You know, guys tell me, well, she left, and I didn't know what she left me for. See, that's your fault. You should have known. I want you men to understand that, listen, man, a lot of stuff, divorce, separation, you can prevent this crap. But see, again, the thing is taking her for granted. You know, I'll fix that later. See that kind of attitude right there, or when's she gonna act right? What's she's doing? See, man, that kind of stuff right there, that gets you in divorce court. Really, real fast. Okay? Please, I'm asking you, pull your ego out of this. Pull your and your pride and get your humility into the game, because that's how you defeat evil. That's how you defeat Satan. Humility is the only thing that can defeat him. And so if I'm blaming my wife for everything, that's pride, that's ego. I don't want to take responsibility. There's no humility there. That's how Satan got thrown out of heaven. And that is how he runs things here. Because we allow him to get in our heads, man. Okay? So again, pleasure. The pleasure of cell phone, television, work, and hobbies and sports. When a man starts doing that too much, you're going to lose your wife. She's going to start getting resentful. She's going to be like, look, why is he not spending time with me? Why is he always on his cell phone? Until I look up, he's on his cell phone talking. And what women do is they love us so much and they're bonded to us and they want to make us happy. So at first, they're going to go along with the cell phone. He's just being a man. I'm going to give him his time and I want him to be, I don't want to try to control him and all that kind of stuff. Because that's how most women are. They love you, and so they want you to be happy. So most people think that if I let him do what he wants to do, then he'll be happy. And then, we'll spend time together later. But see, guys, you can't let men do that because they're going to go overboard. They don't know when to stop. Every time you look up, they're watching a hockey game on TV. Every time you look up, the golf game's on. Every time you look up, NFL's playing. If ain't none of that going on, then there's college basketball. Then there's the skeet shooting. Then there's tennis. It just never ends. Or I'm on my phone because I'm watching all of that, or checking all my emails and on Facebook or whatever we do that takes away from my wife. Does that make our wife feel special when we do that? I don't know. I'm not your woman. All I do is I know eventually that's what happens. They start to feel like they're neglected. Okay. Another thing, man, when a woman starts complaining about you're spending too much time with your buddies, or you're spending too much time at work, or you spend too much time at your mom and daddy's house or with your brother and all that kind of stuff, a lot of guys think, she's trying to control me. At first, no, she's not. No, she's not. She's your wife. She's not your partner. She's not your buddy. She's the mother of your children. She's the one you said you're going to spend the rest of your life with, making her happy. So at first, like I said, a woman's going to let things pass. But after a while, when she starts to find out, well, man, me being passive is not working. What happened is she will start to complain. And what that means, if your wife is complaining to her to you that you're with your buddies too much, or not just like that, they always start real slim and small. She'll go, oh, you going over John's house he's going with the fellas this weekend. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I was hoping we could spend a little time together. See, she didn't go, hey, we supposed to spend time together. Hey, I want you to do this. Hey, I want us to do that. I'm asking you to spend time with me. No, very rare does a woman do that, especially at first, right? What she's trying to get you to do is make your own decision, because she don't want to. Because a woman feels, if I got to tell you, then you didn't do it on your own. You did it because I had to tell you. And if you love me, I should have to tell you. You should already know. That's why when a woman leaves and separates, or she starts messing with another man, or she files for divorce, anything like that, first thing a man does is go, what happened? What's wrong? What you do that for? Where's she going to say? I ain't telling you nothing. You should already know. You know what's wrong. You should already know. And most guys go, no, I don't know. Because in a woman's man, I'm already trying to tell you man, like 500 times. Okay? Let me pause right here, because this matters. If you're listening to this and you're realizing your situation is already escalating, she's pulled away, talking divorce, or the marriage is breaking down in real time, then don't try to figure this out alone. Most men do, and they crash and burn because they don't understand what they're truly up against. Separation, divorce, annulment, they follow a pattern. And a crisis like this demands a plan, not advice. Inside the manual, you'll see exactly where you are in the breakdown and the next steps to stabilize it. And if you're ready, you'll have the option to work with me directly and map out your next moves. Go to SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. So next one is when the next thing when the marriage starts breaking down is, I also want to say again on the women choosing us thing. When a woman chooses you, I didn't finish this. When a woman chooses you, she doesn't want anybody else, dude. She don't even close to want anybody else. Most women, when they choose you, when they say I do and I want to marry you, they already know months in advance they want to marry you. They just waiting on you to ask them. And so when a woman chooses you, she doesn't want another man. She wants to spend all her time with you. She wants to cook for you. She wants to have your babies. She wants to go to work. She goes to work for you. She makes a home for you. You're the most important thing in her life. A lot of guys don't think that, don't know that. Most people think the kid is the number one thing in a woman's life. That's not true. That's not true. Women only cling to the children when the husband ain't on his game, when he neglects her, spend time. He's not taking care of her. He's not loving her properly. Then women start to cling to the children. But before the children, just think about it. A lot of women today, they don't want to have children. Not because they don't specifically want to have a baby. It's because, no, then that's going to take away time for me and my husband. I want to be with him. So, men, we forget that. We forget how important we are, how powerful we are, how influential we are in our wife's life. So when a woman decides I'm leaving or I want another man or she allows another man to fancy her or whatever, dude, that's because the man she got started tripping. The man she has stopped making her feel special, started neglecting her, putting his job above her. Then that's when she starts thinking, well, what am I here for? Most women, dude, that's how they think. That's how they work. So my point of me saying this question of the day thing is men mess up the relationship because women, they already made their choice. It's him. And so basically when the marriage starts to go south, it's because the man is not on his job. See, he's forgotten what's going on. And again, I'm going to say this, brother, if you don't want your woman, somebody else sure else does. Okay. Next. So the next one is when the husband makes the logistics of kids, bills, finances, activities, routine, and forgets romance, love, togetherness, and his one flesh union. I've already talked about that. I ain't got to go that far on that one. But basically what we're talking about is the wife, we letting day-to-day life make our marriage boring. Women want to be excited. They want passion and fire. They want you to feel passionate about them. Why? Because that's that unsaid promise, dude. You promised her. Okay? So we can't let day-to-day life, especially, we can never put kids above our marriage. We can never put kids above our husband. We can never put kids above our wife. Why? Because God in the marriage is way more important than the children. Of course, you're going to say, Jerry, that's not right. It is right. Think of all the people you know who put their kids above their husband or their wife or God. Where's that family going? Where's that marriage going? It's not going very well. They act like it is, but it ain't going nowhere. Nowhere but to hell. Okay? So it's why it's important that we can't let the day-to-day lives of the kids, the responsibility of the kids, or whatever else is going on in our life to overshadow God, our wife, and our husband and our marriage, the Trinity. God, Son, Holy Spirit, God, husband, wife. The Trinity. Okay? So next, another last thing real quick. We must remember, gentlemen, women choose us, we don't choose them. I've talked about that. And once they make the choice, it takes an act of God or the man completely messing it up for them to begin feeling unhappy or that the marriage is going nowhere or has become hopeless. Okay? Again, for women, it takes a lot of years to mess up the relationship. Unless you're just an outright jerk, right? You know, beating up on her, fighting with her, messing around, getting drunk, getting high, all that kind of stuff. Normal men, though, women will give us time. Because women are more advanced in relationships than us, even the crazy ones. They just are. All right? But just remember, when a woman starts getting hurt by the way we talk to them, by the way we treat them, what starts happening, they start getting unhappy, they start getting resentful, and they start wondering, where's this marriage going? And then they get hopeless. And then they think, well, he's never going to change. Then comes the exit strategy. Then comes the wife's exit strategy. We're going to talk about that a little later. But the wife's exit strategy of what? I'm getting away from him. I'm unhappy. He's not doing nothing. He don't love me. So I'm out of here. Me and the kids. Okay? So, and remember the last thing I'm going to say this real quick before we go to the next segment. If you remember, in the eyes of God, men are responsible for everything in their house and their not their wife. You as the man are responsible for your house. Your house. Not your wife, not your children. Not your boss, not your daddy, not your mother. You are responsible for your house and everything that goes in it and everything that happens in it. All right? Even society knows that. Even this devilish, ungodly society, everybody knows it. When there's a man in the house, everybody knows who is responsible for that house. It ain't the wife. I don't care if she's Hillary Clinton, the president of the United States. Okay? All right. All right. So that is the end of part 1 of why wives leave their husbands and why you didn't see it coming. In the next episode, we start part 2 with the battle ready breakdown. So in conclusion, as we always do, we end with a quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, "Society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness." So go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is upon you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle. Listen, if this episode hit you hard, good. Because that means you're finally seeing what's really happening. This doesn't fix itself. It doesn't slow down. And it doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Every day you sit still, you lose ground. And she moves further into the wife's exit strategy. So don't sit on this. Don't overthink it. Don't go back to doing nothing. Go to SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. Get the field manual. See the pattern. Take your first real step. Because right now, you're either becoming the man who saves this marriage or the man who watches it disappear. Hey, I'm your coach now. Let's get battle ready. Bam!